Hello everyone, and welcome to Pravus Gaming and another installment of Democracy 3, the vanilla version this time instead of Democracy 3 Africa. I've done a couple of series on that game, had a lot of fun. I highly recommend you check it out if you have not already. But I did promise that the next time we pick up Democracy, I would be playing on the regular version, and we would be playing as the United Kingdom. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. As usual, I will point out that I am playing with social engineering and extremism, not clones and drones, because I don't like this expansion and its content. I actually really thought about picking it up and turning it on and playing with this time around, but I started doing some practice games and decided, you know what, I really still hate it. I don't like this expansion and what it offers, so no. Rejected. We're going to stick with these two expansions. Alright, so the United Kingdom is on our agenda today, and I did say that we're going to be turning this into a theocracy. Now, in my Democracy 3 Africa series, just last time as Egypt, we created a theocracy then too, and it was far more obvious if you had succeeded in creating a theocracy, because there was actually a policy to do so. In this game, not so much. So, basically, my measure of a successful theocracy is going to be 100% religious membership. I think that we should easily be able to do that. We're also going to try to solve most, if not all, of the United Kingdom's problems. So, let's take a look at the description here. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, commonly known as the UK, or just Britain, is one of 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council and a founding member of NATO and the Commonwealth. So on and so forth. The UK is an active member of the EU. Well, I don't know. Depending on when you're watching this, they may have held the referendum and left already. I'm not entirely sure. But it did retain the pound instead of the euro. We have a monarchy. That's going to be very... Well, honestly, it's going to have very little impact in our gameplay, but it's one of the main reasons I chose Great Britain, the United Kingdom, to be a theocracy. Why Great Britain? I mean, I had a lot of people asking for France and Australia and stuff as well. Why Great Britain? Well, specifically because Great Britain does actually have a church, the Church of England, although I think it's been renamed since then. It's, oh gosh, is it the Episcopal Church? Oh, crap. Or the Anglican. I can't remember. Crap. Either way, they had the Church of England. But also, I believe that to this day, Queen Elizabeth is still the defender of the faith. So there's, whether it's really plays a factor in their policies or not, the United Kingdom does have a pretty rich history as far as religious involvement with the government. And I figure, hey, how cool, from a roleplay perspective, to have our monarch be divinely inspired by God, and the Church of England takes over all functions of the government. That's basically what we're going to do. Hence the thumbnail, where I'm a priest. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Of course, our names are not going to be the Liberal Party. That's ridiculous. We are the Chosen. There. And our opponents, the Jehovah Party? No, I can't have that kind of competition. Absolutely not. You will be the Heathens. I can't type because I can't see my gosh dang keyboard. Ah! Okay, there we go. We're going to leave everything else on the defaults. We will have a term length of 4 years, which is pretty standard. There is no limit. We will set our own limit for ourselves. There is a monarchy, which again, very little impact on this game, but it does have some effect as far as your random events. We do not have compulsory voting, or earthquakes, or hurricanes, although there is going to be an absolute frick ton of rain in the United Kingdom. Difficulty, political apathy, blah, blah, blah. Leave everything else on the defaults. Let's begin the game. Okay, congratulations on your election victory. That was easy. Welcome to your new job as Prime Minister. The lives of all 63 million citizens are now in your hands. Blah, blah, blah. You've seen this all before. GDP sucks. Health is actually sort of okay for a starting country. It's not great, but it's okay. Education? Again, not terrible. It could be a lot worse. Unemployment and crime, however, are ridiculously high, and poverty is on the rise. We also have quite a few nasty events to start us off in the UK. We do have homelessness, we do have the uncompetitive economy, and we do have technology backwater. That's not so bad. We also have, what's this? Asthma epidemic, we have vigilante mobs, we have ghettos, we have alcohol abuse, we have street gangs, and we have organized crime. All events we are going to want to take care of. By the way, I suspect that there is a certain aspect of randomness to when you start a new country, because one time I played as the United Kingdom on my own time, I definitely started with an event called the General Strike, which was a huge impact on my GDP. It was awful. It was easy to get rid of, but it was awful. This game, I don't have it. Why? I don't know. But it's not here. So, okay, let's move on. All right, to start us off, taking a look at our income, we have 229.56 billion British pounds coming in, and we are spending significantly more than that. Our deficit is 56.7 billion pounds, and we have a rather whopping debt heading toward 900 billion. Yowzas! That right there is a lot of freaking money. We're gonna have to deal with this. Post-haste, we are gonna have to deal with this. What is going on down here? We already start off with the Food Standards Agency? And all sorts of stuff like that? That's crazy. Why would I want to start off with some things like that? Those are far too expensive. I don't have the time to cancel them, though. Alright, first things first, we need to get our economy back on track. You guys understand how this works. So let's take a look at our expenditure. We are spending a lot of money on state pensions, the healthcare service, military spending, state housing, state schools, basically a lot of public functions. State healthcare, I would be tempted to reduce, but I seem to recall seeing a comment a while back saying, oh yeah, go ahead and play as the UK, but if you touch our healthcare service, I will murder you. I guess the British really like their healthcare service, which actually makes sense. I remember the London Olympics. That was a big part of their intro show. Interesting. The National Healthcare Service. I don't really understand your fascination with it because I'm an American, but good for you guys. So I won't touch it yet. It's not a high priority, and health needs to be better. Instead, let's take a look at the state pensions because we are spending a ton of money on that, and we really should not be. Rather than leave it to the individual to provide for themselves after retirement, state pensions can guarantee a minimum standard of living for the elderly. This is basically Social Security. And be aware as life expectancy rises, the cost increases significantly. It also discourages people from saving private pensions. No, we're going to get rid of you. I don't want to cancel it because, one, I don't have nearly enough political capital to do so, but we can reduce its effect rather drastically. The retired will still be somewhat happy, though not nearly as much as they were before. Poverty, unfortunately, will increase. The retired will have less money, socialism membership goes down, blah, 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 but private pensions do become a factor in the economy, and we are going to save somewhere on the order of 34 billion pounds per quarter, which is amazing. It is, however, going to spend all of my political capital right up front, so we're going to have to just accept that as our first turn and immediately move on. Stop and search. Ooh, I haven't seen this one before. There are demands from the police for the power to stop and search people on the street if they believe that individual may be guilty of a crime. Currently, our police cannot search someone without formally arresting them. We could introduce new powers. This will be a valuable weapon in the fight against crime. Noticeable impact on violent and street crime, especially blah blah blah. If they have nothing to hide, they have nothing to fear from the law. This is obviously a conservative option, because any time in this game you see if you have nothing to hide, then by all means. Yeah, that's conservative in Democracy 3. Every freaking time. Leave unchanged, a very dangerous move, wide open to abuse on racial grounds, and will further distance the police from the community. Probably liberal, and probably will upset ethnic minorities if we do not go for this. If I had to guess. So, I think we'll go for the introduced powers. Because guess what? If we're going religious, we're probably going to be going conservative as well. John Kerry, I know something about aircraft carriers for real. Wow. That's our Secretary of State, everybody. Well done. Yeah, we probably will be going for conservative. It just goes so hand in hand with religious. There are so many things that religious people will like that will upset liberals. You really can't do religious liberal very easily in this game. Not without upsetting both of them, like they'll hover kind of in the middle, but you'll never make them super duper happy. So conservative and religious kind of makes sense for us. Oh, and as far as an economic policy, we probably will go for socialist. Because we've done capitalist a couple of other times. Why not? Now, socialism, it so happens, starts off with a pretty high membership. Good for us. But yeah, I think that'll work, and it actually kind of fits from a role-playing perspective as well. Because, money is the root of all evil. Therefore, in order to preserve the souls of the British people, we'll make sure that they have less money. But we'll also take care for the poor. Because, as the Bible says, that what you did unto others, you did unto me. Right? So, giving to the poor will also not only secure my own soul as the theocratic leader of the government, but also it will indirectly save everyone else's souls because they contributed to the pot that helped all the poor, right? That's my very loose argument, and by the way, I know full well there is a lot of fallacies in what I was saying and false statements from the Bible, The Bible does not actually say the money, or the root of all. So what am I saying? The money is the root of all evil. Thank you. Those are the words I was going for. It does not say that. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Now that is true. But for our purposes, we are going to throw that interpretation out the window and say that money is evil. Give me all the money because you can't be trusted with it. So we're going to go for socialist. All right, we have 31 political capital to work with. We have so many crime issues as far as vigilante mobs and street gangs and so on. We need better policing, so that's a good way to invest. Let's go ahead and max that out. I almost always prefer to have a maxed police force. It is going to cost us a fair penny, though, an extra like £6 billion per quarter or something like that. Conservatives and state employees will be very happy. Street gangs goes down, vigilante mobs goes way down, alcohol abuse goes down, and also unemployment, which is kind of important for us. Violent crime, basically across the board this is good if we are willing to spend an extra £6 billion, and for these kind of effects, heck yes, I am. It also won't even cost us very much political capital, which I like. Now, I am tempted to reduce our spending with the military. We don't need a strong military to start us off, so I am going to reduce it, not a ton, because I don't want to hurt unemployment that much. But if I go to, let's say, well, I don't want to go to reservist. How about a light defensive military of about 18 billion? That'll save us on the order of like 5 or 6 billion pounds, I think. Let's see. Yeah, about closer to 8, actually. But we'll go for here. So that should offset all the money that I just spent on our police force. And yeah, it hurts our unemployment a little bit. Oh well. But money is saved, and that is important. We only have 8 political capital left. What can I spend it on? Anything I care about? Let's see. The Enterprise Investment Scheme, actually. Now, I know I said I was going to go for a socialist playthrough, and I am. However, I also believe that we need to get our economy back on track ASAP. So, I'm going to go ahead and spend some capital on this. The Enterprise Investment Scheme is a system where it gives tax breaks to wealthy individuals who invest their money in small startup companies, blah, 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 basically encouraging the rich to nurture the small businesses with the fertilizer that is their money. That's the idea behind it. It's just subsidizing people to invest instead of save their money. That's it. And the wealthy, of course, will profit significantly more than anyone else. Socialism membership goes way down, which means that capitalism membership goes way up. But the self-employed will be happy. High earnings goes up, which I don't actually care about, but the GDP does go up by nearly 6% at the cost of less than £4 billion per quarter. That's pretty good value right there. Now again, this is a temporary measure. Once our economy's in pretty good shape, I want to get rid of this. Don't let me forget, okay? Also, it'll make the capitalists a little bit happier, which, that can't hurt right now. Less likely to get murdered by capitalist people. Capitalist pigs that they are, I don't know. GM food proposal. A number of large agricultural companies are interested in growing genetically modified food on our soil. We've seen this before. Farmers are divided on the issue. I'm pretty sure this is a capitalist versus environmentalist issue. I'm not sure if it has an effect on public health. Do we allow the crops or ban the sale? I'm going to ban the sale. I don't actually know exactly what that does. I think it just upsets them. Yeah, and upsets the capitalists. What about environmentalists? Yep, environmentalists like it a ton. 13% increase with them as opposed to a 3% loss with the capitalists. I'd say we came out ahead even though environmentalist membership is very, very low. But that will change. That'll change in due freaking time. Okay, how about the adult education subsidies? That's a good way to deal with the competitive economy and the low productivity. Increase education, increase productivity, 1.5 billion. Pretty good deal across the board. Other things we can do as far as, well, let's see. Homelessness is a serious issue. Street gangs is a serious issue. Poverty and unemployment are cripplingly high. And crime. Crime, unemployment, poverty. So a good way to deal with some of that is to give some welfare and so on out to the poor, and free school meals is a pretty good way to do that. Again, about 1.6 billion. Not too shabby. Poverty goes way down by about 15%. Socialists like it, health goes up, which again, saves us money. Parents like it, poor earnings goes up. Across the board, this is going to be a good thing for a relatively cheap price. I'm all down for that. I'm debating whether or not I want to spend more political capital right now, or if I want to save it to try and increase, say, the income tax. Tempting. How much does it take to do that? 30. We generate how much? 28. Well, that means that we would have 35 next turn, assuming this holds true. Food stamps? 4? I think we can do it. Food stamps it is. Same deal as the free school meals, although a bit more expensive. Poverty goes down. The poor love getting the free food. Health goes up. Poor earnings goes up. Equality goes up. Farmers like it. It's just good. It's just a really good thing. I mean, no matter how pure you want to be playing this game, let's say you want to be pure capitalist, or you want to be pure libertarian and have very little welfare, whatever it's going to be, this is always good in this game. It really is. So we're going to go for the food stamps. I got 3 political capital left. Theoretically, that will be enough to get an income tax increase next turn. General strike has developed. See, this is what I was talking about. So I guess it's not entirely random. It's just in the UK, it's constantly oscillating. Yeah, I don't know. Theoretically, it might go down below the stop trigger pretty quickly. It's kind of hard to say. But the better we do for unemployment and such, probably the better. I don't know. We'll deal with this in time, but it's costing me a fair chunk of money. Credit rating got upgraded really early on. That's shocking. Triple B. GDP goes up. We have a superhero, which is reducing crime a tiny little bit. Unemployment, it says, is going up, and a big part of that is because we cut the military budget a little bit. Okay, see, they lied to me. It said that I was going to get 28, but no, I got 28 last turn. It's terrible at predicting how much I'm going to get this turn. So now I don't actually have enough to do my income tax, and that makes me rather upset for fairly obvious reasons. So, okay, screw you. How about, well, let's see, is there any other tax we can increase? Not the petrol tax. Inheritance tax? We could increase that, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of money out of it. No, we really, really want to do the income tax. How about we spend some of our political capital doing, let's say, the rural development grants? Now, that right there is one heck of a policy. Pick it up. Poor earnings goes up, unemployment goes way down, equality up, farmers love it because we are developing the rural areas, and the GDP goes up by 5.2% for less than £2 billion a quarter. What a deal. So perfect. Let's do that. Now we're practically out of political capital, so I guess that is the end of year 1. I'm a little bit sore at the game for failing to predict how much I'm actually going to get, because that kind of messed up my math, but oh well, now we have our food stamps, we still have quite a surplus, but I'm still going to want to increase the income tax in order to pay off our debt a little bit faster. That'll all have to wait until next time, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, starting off in the United Kingdom, creating a theocracy. If so, then hit that like button, leave a comment, giving me some suggestions, because I will be playing this series a little bit slower than usual, which means I can actually take some of your comments into account. And of course, subscribe if you want to see the rest of this series. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.